WNBA titles. The Lynx have 4 of those. The Storm have 2, bookending that stretch, 2010 and 2018, a season ago. But both teams kind of in similar positions, playing without their superstars. Last year's MVP, Finals MVP, Breanna Stewart out for the year with an Achilles injury. Sue Bird undergoing knee surgery, and she is out right now indefinitely, as is Simone Augustus for the Minnesota Lynx. Of course, Lindsay Whalen retired. Maya Moore is on the full season suspended list as she takes the season off to dedicate time to her family and to her faith. And of course, Rebecca Brunson not on the roster for the Lynx as well. So both teams playing without their set of stars, and I think both teams fueled by that a little bit and played very similarly in their season opening wins. We're underway here on a Wednesday night as the opening tip, tossed up by John Butler, is controlled by the Minnesota Lynx. Danielle Robinson will initiate the offense. Odyssey Sims, here's Collier at the big game on Saturday. Dantas got stripped on the perimeter. Langhorne scoops it up, and here come the Storm. It's Natasha Howard driving in for the layup, and she gets it to drop. 2-0 Storm on top as they created havoc, something they did for the final 3 quarters against Phoenix the other night. There's a floater down the lane for Danielle Robinson, and that drops in, tying the game at 2. So just 30 seconds gone, and both teams off to extremely good starts here. On the perimeter, here's Jordan Canada, had a strong 4th quarter in that game against the Mercury. Inside Langhorne, did she travel? She did. Lifted the pivot foot. That'll be a turnover on the Storm. You know, as you might expect early on in a season, you're going to see a lot of miscues, and the Lynx had 21 turnovers in their win against Chicago. Seattle had 16 turnovers of their own, which were turned into 21 Phoenix points. But both teams also forced a lot of turnovers. Lynx got Chicago to miscue it 16 times, and the Storm turned the Mercury over 20 times for 23 points the other night. Fouls, jump hook in the paint, comes up short. Howard clears the rebound. There's Jordan Canada up in the front court. Second year. Started in the absence of Sue Bird for a handful of games last year. To the baseline, Mosqueda Lewis, the pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound tapped around, finally controlled by Odyssey Sims. Sims up into the front court. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well against the Sky. She works on Canada here and draws the foul. It'll be sideline out of bounds for Minnesota. In fact, the Lynx starting backcourt of Robinson and Sims took 26 shots against the Sky, only shot 35%. But Odyssey Sims, back to her, was a team-high plus 30 in 27 minutes of play. 8:30 left to go here. Lob inside, Fouls comes down with it. Pump fakes against her former teammate, Natasha Howard, but Fouls could not hit the bunny inside. Seattle in their yellow uniforms, tops and bottoms with a green trim. Left alone, Langhorne's going to fire a 3. It's offline. Offensive rebound is Jewel Lloyd. Now Mosqueda Lewis, her mid-post jumper drops in. Mosqueda Lewis had 8 points in the win over the Mercury. An efficient 3 of 5, knocked down a couple of threes. 4-2, Seattle leads by 2. And Seattle can cause problems is something the Lynx were concerned about. The pressure that they can put on you on the perimeter. Trapping. Here's Collier, weaves her way into the paint, floats it up off the glass too strong. Natasha Howard comes back the other way. Top of the key, stops, pops, the jumper does not drop. And Sylvia Fowles, who did Sylvia Fowles-like things against the Sky the other night. Step through move by Robinson, layup is good. Fowles just continues to pick up double-doubles against Chicago, 16 and 10. Shot 6 of 8 from the field. Here's Canada, dancing off the Langhorne screen, looking to drive on Robinson. Scoop up off the rim, no, and the rebound to Damiris Dantas. Tied at 4. Nearly 3 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. Collier, wing left. Now they get into foul. She'll turn face up on Langhorne. The jumper no good. And Sylvia is 0 for 3 to start this game. Lynx are 2 of 6 from the field. So are the Storm. To the elbow, Jewel Lloyd. Pull-up jumper. That rims off. And the rebound collected by Dantas. Then she got fouled by Natasha Howard. So Howard, who spent 2 years in a Lynx uniform, 16 and 17. Did not miss a game with the Lynx. Only started 1 of those games and played 14 minutes a game. Last year with Seattle, a career high, 13 points, 6 rebounds, couple of blocks. She was second in the league in block shots. Shot 55%, 5th best in the league. Lynx offensively here. They get it inside to Collier. Good post move on Mosqueda Lewis, and the layup is good. You know, as we saw on Saturday, Collier, who's playing the small forward spot, Cheryl Reeve needs her to play on the wing more. She's still working on getting more comfortable. 3 ball by Howard's off the mark, and the Lynx have the rebound. Good outlet by Fowles. 6:20 left to go here as Odyssey Sims. Beautiful feed inside of Collier. Layup is good, and the Lynx have an 8-4 lead. They're on a 6-0 run here. And Mosqueda Lewis works off the high screen by Langhorn, and a whistle and a foul. Against Minnesota. It'll go against Nafisa Collier. Sideline out of bounds here for Seattle. It's got deflected off the inbound, but Howard's still able to control. Dangerous pass left wing. Jewel Lloyd able to collect it, give it back to Canada up top. She'll pop out a 3. That's in and out, no good. Fouls clears another rebound. There's Danielle Robinson looking to attack Canada. Step through, runs it up with the right hand that rolls off. Danielle Robinson had hit her first 2 shots. She's not to shoot the ball particularly well against the Sky. 5 of 14 the other night. Pull-up jumper by Lloyd is in and out. Offensive rebound, Howard. She had 7 of those against the Mercury, and she puts this one back up and in to bring the Storm to within 2. On the offensive glass, Seattle had 13 offensive rebounds against the Mercury. Turned those into 20 points. It's the exact number that the Lynx had on the offensive glass, too. That'll be a big key tonight, the battle on the boards. Both teams extremely good rebounding teams, very good defensive teams, and through one game, both very efficient offenses. Sims with the shot clock winding down, beats the buzzer. The shot off the heel, but Sims collects her own rebound. Now Fowles left block against Howard. Double ensues. Kick out to Collier. They'll move it up top. Danielle Robinson. 4 to shoot. Now steps into a 3. Comes up short. Fouls with an offensive rebound. She couldn't squeeze it. Looked like Howard banged her arm there. Canada looking to attack back the other way. Into the paint. Now out. Lloyd a 3 from the left angle. No good. Fouls collects another rebound. Fouls already up to 4 rebounds as we push past the halfway mark here this opening quarter. 8-6. Minnesota leads by 2. Seattle now 3 of 12 shooting and 0 of 3 from deep. Lynx haven't been much better, 36% and 0 of 1 from beyond the arc. Collier collides with Canada there, and Canada a little bit slow in getting up. Now she gets help to her feet and appears to be okay. Our under 5-minute timeout has come with 4:18 left to go in the opening quarter. It is Minnesota who leads by 2. It's 8-6. The Lynx on top early. Storm shooting just 3 of 12 and 0 of 4 from beyond the arc. They've mixed in a turnover as well, but they only trail by 2 here. 8-6 with 4:18 left to go in the opening quarter. Jessica Shepard, a rookie out of Notre Dame, is in for Minnesota, along with Lexi Brown, a second-year guard out of Duke. Cervante Zealous has checked in for the Storm. Sims around the screen by Dantas, down the lane through traffic, and the pink shot drops in. 5 of 12 shooting for the Lynx to start the game. It's 10-6, Minnesota on top. Natasha Howard lost control of it, got it back along the baseline, lost it again, and there's the second turnover on Seattle in this game. Last year, the Storm 26-8, best record in the WNBA. Got the double bye, then beat Phoenix in a hotly contested 5-game series, 3-2, then swept Washington to win their 3rd ever WNBA title. Here's Collier showing the long-range form that she hit the other night. 3 of 4 from beyond the arc against the Chicago Sky. She's 1 for 1 from deep here tonight. She's got 7 to lead all scorers. 13-6, and that's the first 3 of the game for either side. Zealous up top. Mosqueda Lewis bottled up at the free throw line. Here it comes out to Lloyd, wing left, working against Lexi Brown. A drive and a kick, baseline, good pump fake, and Langhorn draws a foul going across the lane. So free throws are upcoming, our first of the game. Jessica Shepard picks up the personal foul. Langhorn will go to the free throw line. You see Shepard on your screen there. 13 rebounds for her in her debut on Saturday. That's the most by a WNBA player in a debut since Detrina White had 13 for the New York Liberty at Indiana way back in the early 2000s. And Shepherd also had 10 rebounds and 5 assists. Only 2 other players in WNBA history have done that in a debut. One of them is Candace Parker. The other is Damiris Dantas, who did it back in 2014. 13-6 as Langhorne split the pair. Seattle forces a turnover here. Lloyd up into the front court. And we've got a whistle on the perimeter as Howard and Dantas got tangled up. Dantas will be called for the foul. Here comes Mercedes Russell, the second-year center out of Tennessee. And Langhorne will take a seat. No Alicia Clark for the Storm for the second straight game because of rest coming off her season in France. We have a collision up top. Sims, I think, got hit right in the mouth by a screen by Russell. And so that will give Minnesota possession here. Under 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Sims will initiate the offense. Lexi Brown gives it right back. Dantas the high screen, and Sims is hand checked by Howard. That'll be number 2 on Natasha Howard. Howard with 4 points, 4 rebounds, and now 2 personal fouls. Inbound, Jessica Shepherd on the perimeter. Shot clock is down to 8 here. We've got a whistle and a 3-second violation against the Seattle defense. And that'll be called on Natasha Howard, and that'll send Odyssey Sims to the free throw line for 1 free throw. Sims hit a technical in Saturday's win. Now Natasha Howard is out, and Crystal Langhorne is quickly back into the game. She got about 60 seconds worth of a break. Collier triggers in. And here's Shepherd, who had those 5 assists against Chicago. Shot clock down to 7. Sims to the baseline, trapped there. An outlet comes to Shepherd to the baseline. Tough shot, and it rolls off. No good. Offensive rebound. Dantas. Putback is there. Damiris Dantas in her second stint with the Lynx. She's drafted by the Lynx back in 2012. Finally played in 2014, and then was shipped off to Atlanta in the 3-team deal that brought the Lynx Sylvia Fowles. Right on cue, Sylvia Fowles is going to check back into the game here. So is Danielle Robinson. Odyssey Sims and Damiris Dantas take a seat. Dantas, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. The Lynx signed her in the offseason, a restricted free agent by the Atlanta Dream. 2:09 to go in the quarter. Lloyd has it up top, guarded by Lexi Brown. Around the screen by Langhorne. Nothing develops. Now Zealous with it, perimeter right. Off the Russell screen. Zealous up top, Lloyd. Lexi Brown nearly got the steal, but when she didn't, Lloyd was open for the jumper, just missed it. Offensive rebound. And the Storm will continue the possession. Zealous frees herself. That jumper's going to be offline, and this time Jessica Shepherd has the rebound. 16-7. The Lynx lead by 9 here. Robinson probes to the elbow and backs it out. Collier, high post, fouls. Lexi Brown looking to attack, get to the paint. Out to Shepherd, right side 3 on the way. Missed it long. Fowles battling for the rebound, kept it alive, but it's finally squeezed by Jewel Lloyd, a 5th-year guard out of Notre Dame. She'll attack inside. Beautiful dish, and the lay-in is there for Crystal Langhorne. Shepherd looking to lob it inside to Collier. She makes the catch, draws the foul. They are not going to give her the continuation. So it'll be a foul on the floor. And they're going to get the foul on Anrielle Howard, who is seeing her first action. In fact, her first WNBA game. Played her college ball at Texas A&M, and then her final year at Mississippi State. Second round pick by Seattle. Well, they're going to say that they didn't give her the bucket. That was the 15th foul on the Storm, and so Collier's at the free throw line. Collier had 11 free throw attempts in the win over the Sky. She knocks them both down here. 18-9. Lynx lead by 9 with under a minute to go here in the opening quarter. Seattle shooting 4 of 15 here in the frame. 0 of 5 from beyond the arc. Zealous off to Langhorne. Here is Howard. And her wing pass is jumped by Lexi Brown and nearly stolen. It was intended for Sammy Whitcomb. Whitcomb played 10 minutes in the game against the Mercury. Inside, Zealous got stripped by Danielle Robinson. The ball ends up out of bounds. They're going to award it to Minnesota. Oh, they call a foul on Zealous. And that's going to result in free throws. So Zealous comes away, rubbing her mouth there. She felt like she got fouled, I think, inside. So Danielle Robinson will go to the free throw line. She hit 3 of 4 the other night at the stripe. Knocks down the first one. Stephanie Talbot checks in. And Collier sits down. 9 points on an efficient 3 of 4 shooting. And Robinson's second free throw was good. 20-9. Largest lead of the game is right here, up 11. Shavante Zealous will bring it up on Danielle Robinson. There's Whitcomb right back to Zealous, who crashes into Lexi Brown. They're going to call an offensive foul on Shavante Zealous. Now Zealous can't believe it. And Gary Kloppenberg having some words as well with Fatu Sissoko-Stevens, one of our 3 officials. Well, you kind of feel for Zealous there. She really had nowhere to go. That was a big-time collision on the wing right in front of the Seattle bench. 20-9. Here's Shepard. Fakes the pass, drives down the lane, floater, drops in. Lynx have now hit 8 of 17 shots, 47%, while Seattle continues to struggle, 4 of 16. Here's Zealous with 6 seconds left. Shot clock is dark. Zealous on the attack with a left-handed dribble into the paint. Should she hop, skip, and a jump? She did, travel. So Seattle, barring a turnover here by the Lynx, is going to finish the quarter 4 of 16 shooting with 5 turnovers. 2.5 to go. Danielle Robinson gets a running start, a free look at a half-court shot. That's online, but a little bit short. Surprised Zealous didn't come up and contest that just a little bit. But the Lynx up by 13, 22-9, led again by the rookie, Nafisa Collier. She's got 9 on 3 of 4 shooting, and the Lynx up by 13 after 1. After 1 quarter of play here in Minneapolis, it's the Lynx, led by their rookie, Nafisa Collier, up 22-9. Collier's got 9 on 3 of 4 shooting. She knocked down a 3. See if the Storm have some answers here in the second quarter, as they shot just 4 of 16. You know, they were 3 of 5 at the rim, but outside the restricted area, just 1 of 11 shooting in that first quarter. Jordan Canada's back in the game. Here's Whitcomb, a step back, long 2 on the way, and that's good for Sammy Whitcomb. 5'10", her 3rd year out of the University of Washington, a Ventura, California native. Again, that's just a rare outside shot, just the second of the game, hit by Seattle from outside the paint. Fouls, gets position inside, double team, goes up strong anyway and scores it for 2. Just would not be denied inside. First field goal of the game for Sylvia Fowles in 4 attempts. There's Canada looking to penetrate on Robinson, cut off at the mid post. Langhorne holds in the corner. Got tripped up by Shepard, still able to get it out. Here's Howard. Howard working against Stephanie Talbot, got stripped. Lexi Brown comes away with a loose ball, leads the break. Now from beyond the arc. Shepard inside, back out to Lexi Brown. Fouls calls for. Still plenty of time to shoot as Brown attacks down the lane. The layup no good. Rebound tapped around. Unfortunately for the Storm, that ball hit off Lexi Brown as she was standing out of bounds. She was just trying to catch her breath for a second. That ball hit her even though she's standing out of bounds. That makes it off of her. So just over a minute gone here in the second quarter. You know, both Seattle and Minnesota in their season openers really turned things up in the second quarter. That's when the Lynx dominated the Sky in the second and third quarters, outscoring them by 22. And Seattle did the same against Phoenix, holding the Mercury to 9 points in the second quarter. 24-13. It's a 4-0 burst for Seattle to start the second quarter. Lexi Brown having trouble finding space against Sammy Whitcomb. 3-ball is short. Rebound. Talbot keeps it alive. Lexi Brown now with it inside. Jessica Shepard. Good hustle by Talbot to keep that rebound alive, and that was a big collision inside. Here's Lloyd free for the elbow jumper, and she knocks it down. Lloyd averaged 16 points a game last year, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. She has averaged 16 or more. Lloyd has in 3 straight years. 26-15. Lynx up by 11. They work it around the horn. Shepard with it. Cross court, dangerous pass, but Talbot touches it off to Lexi Brown, who pump fakes Lloyd in the air, fires to the rim long. But the foul will be on Jewel Lloyd. And Lexi Brown should end up with a free throw line for 2. Boy, they are not going to give her the continuation. Cheryl Reeve has that same question. How's that? You know, I think we've seen this in the NBA and the WNBA. What's a continuation and what's not has become a very subjective thing, and it really shouldn't be. Fouls inside, could not finish. And the Storm come back the other way. Canada speeding up into the front court, into the paint, dropping it for Lloyd. Lloyd will fire 18-footer on the way. That's off the heel. Fouls with another rebound. Outlet to Robinson. Tried to get by Lloyd, but Lloyd reached in, poked it free. Now Whitcomb with the 3. Missed it long. Rebound. Fouls has got it. And a loose ball foul against Jessica Shepard. Our 3 officials here tonight. The crew chief is Eric Bruton, flanked by John Butler and Fatu Sissoko Stevens. Shepard was called for that last foul. It's her second. Dantas re-enters the game. Yeah, you saw the tail end of that. Didn't look like there was a lot of contact. Yes, Shepard goes over the back, but seemed to bat that ball cleanly. And now Canada inside. And you know who, not only do broadcasters, fans, but the referees as well are struggling with the new uniforms in the WNBA with a lack of a jersey number on the front. It's slowing it down because they don't know who, they need to see the number. Seems to be like there should be a way to get a number on the front of the jersey. Natasha Howard inside, her feed to Mercedes Russell, gets deflected, the Lynx come away with it. Things starting to get a little chippy here in the second quarter. As a drive by Robinson, they're going to call an offensive foul. I think Robinson got either the knee or the elbow up. The crowd doesn't like it. Now, yeah, Robinson swings the elbows through, and that catches, was it Canada? Yeah, I got it right on the chin. Three gone here in the second quarter. 26-15, Lynx still lead by 11. Drive by Canada here. Shot comes up short. Fouls with another rebound. Her 6th of the first half. I believe 5 of those have come on the defensive glass for Sylvia Fouls. Maybe all 6. Dantas on the perimeter. Whistle stops play. We're going to have a foul on Seattle, away from the play. That's going to go against Sammy Whitcomb. So Collier is back in the game with Dantas, Fouls, Robinson, and Sims. Starting 5 out there for Minnesota. Lob inside. That's a difficult feed from Dantas, and the ball got deflected out of bounds. Collier, she knew she couldn't get up there with 2 hands and come down with it. There was just too much yellow in the way. And she tried to bat it to the corner, but she batted it out of bounds, and it's going to be awarded to Seattle. It's the 5th turnover on Minnesota. Seattle's turned it over 7 times. Whitcomb looking to attack. Left-handed dribble drive, baseline. Out it comes. Lloyd, runner down the lane. Nicely scooped up and in off the glass. Jewel Lloyd out of Notre Dame. Based on the opening rosters in the WNBA, Notre Dame with 9 players currently in the league. Second, only 2. Not hard to figure it out. University of Connecticut. Sims bottled up down low, stripped by Whitcomb, and a jump ball is called. Tell you what, Sammy Whitcomb Beckham has provided a little bit of a spark here in the second quarter. And she's been out there for 5 minutes. And she's got a couple of points, a couple of assists, but she's been active defensively as well. 26-17, up by 9 are the Lynx. The Timberwolves guard Josh Okogie is in the house. He is donning a Danielle Robinson jersey. Played 74 games in his rookie year out of Georgia Tech. 8 points, 3 rebounds. Josh is along the baseline over by the Lynx bench. Lynx had Karl Anthony Towns, Ryan Saunders, Cam Reynolds supporting the team in the season opener on Saturday. There's always been great interaction between the Timberwolves and Lynx players, coaches, staff. It's really been fun to see how close those two sides have gotten over the last decade or so. The Storm able to win that jump ball. It went out of bounds and awarded to Seattle. Seattle hit 4 field goals in the first quarter. They've hit 4 in the first 4.5 minutes of the second quarter. Inside, the Storm could not finish it off. Russell missing that shot. Lloyd missed the initial one. Jewel Lloyd is 2 of 8 from the field. Up by 11, Lynx have it here, but the Storm have gotten much more active defensively. Mosqueda Lewis is back out there. Here's Sims on the penetration floater with the left hand. Good soft touch for Odyssey Sims. She's got 5 points, a couple of dimes. 28-17, up by 11. Russell looking back door. Nice catch by Lloyd inside Howard. Shifts to the right side, the floater no. And Nafisa Collier comes away with the rebound. Lynx hitting 46% of their shots. Here's Collier. Got tripped up and threw it away, or did it get deflected? Deflected out of bounds. It'll stay Seattle basketball, 13 to shoot. The 3 has not been a big factor here in the first half. The Lynx are 1 of 4. Seattle's 0 for 6. And the battle on the boards that we touched on in the open, the Lynx are a +3 on the glass right now. Lexi Brown's got to fire away to beat the buzzer, and it comes up short. Nothing but yellow jerseys there for the rebound. Here's Jewel Lloyd. Lloyd, quick crossover on the Howard screen. Now Russell gives it off. Mosqueda Lewis. Bounce pass back to Russell. Layup. They're going to give her the continuation. Yep. Beautifully executed play there by the Storm. Collier picks up the foul, and that should be... Oh boy, they're not going to give her the basket on that? Yeah, 28-17, no basket. Apparently that foul happened on the floor. Again, there's that continuation. That, to me, is a continuation play. But I guess if you're not going to call the continuation at one end of the floor, you might as well be consistent at the other. Now an offensive foul is called. Mercedes Russell picks up her second. Courtney Paris will check into the game. Seeing her first action of the season. Courtney now in her 10th year out of Oklahoma. You know, with Rebecca Brunson not on the Lynx roster to start this year, Courtney Paris becomes the last Sacramento Monarch currently active in the WNBA. Dantas, the fall away in the paint drops in. Dantas has 4, 30-17. Corner 3 on the way, bingo. Finally, a 3 drops, and it is Jewel Lloyd. Oh, they say it's a 2. Foot on the line for Jewel Lloyd. Now they put it down as a 3. And let's see if they take a look at it. And losing the handle was Sims, and then she torpedoed Jewel Lloyd. And so it'll be Seattle basketball. That's their first personal 14. Well, now they've taken it off the scoreboard as a 3 to a 2, but the score, now they've just added another point to the Storm. They've gone the wrong way. Should be 30-19. There we go. Oh, Paris got her shot blocked by Collier. Check that, it's Mosqueda Lewis. And another block inside. Dantas comes away with it. Lexi Brown on the push. Top of the key, in the paint, out to Collier. Nafisa will drop it back. Lexi open for the triple try. She'll hit. That is the second 3 of the game for the Lynx. 33-19. That feels like a big swing right there. And Lexi Brown couldn't make the steal, jumping the pass in midcourt. 3 minutes to go here, and Gary Kloppenberg, I think, senses the momentum starting to shift a little bit after the Storm and worked really hard to get back into things. 3:01 left to go in the second quarter. Up by 14 are the Lynx. How about this block from the rookie, Collier? The second quarter play. Glad to have you along with us on this Wednesday night. My name's Alan Horton. Lynx will be on the road for the next 2 games. Meanwhile, speaking of the road, the Storm with their arena issues, playing in Everett and then waiting for the University of Washington arena to become free. They're playing 7 of their next 8 on the road. And in fact, tonight begins 3 games in 4 nights for them. Jewel Lloyd with it against Odyssey Sims, 8 to shoot. Off the Paris screen. Out it comes to Canada, who drives in, floats up the shot. No, but she got clobbered. Jordan Canada, the second-year point guard out of UCLA. We'll head to the free throw line for 2 shots. You know, another UCLA product, as we take another look at this one. Canada really lowers the shoulder well on Lexi Brown. Once you have the step there as the offensive player and you just lean into that defender, you give yourself a chance at the three-point play, and worst-case scenario, you're going to the free throw line for 2. But another former point guard at UCLA, how about Noelle Quinn, who's now an assistant coach with the Storm? Played with them last year, won her first title in her long career. She was originally drafted by the Lynx 4th overall back in 2008. And Noelle is still to this day, I haven't seen her probably in 8 years. She's one of the nicest people you will ever meet. Glad to see Noelle get a ring and wrap up her WNBA career. By the way, she's warming up. She looks like she could still play. Jewel Lloyd, top of the key, jumper on the way, in. Lloyd is 3 of 10 shooting. She's got 6 points. Check that, 4 of 11 for 8 points. She's the leading scorer for the Storm, 35-22. I think if you're Gary Kloppenberg, you're looking for a way, well, as Dante scores inside again. And the points in the paint starting to rack up for the Lynx here, 26-12, plus 14 in that category. I was about to say Gary Kloppenberg is hoping just to find a way to keep this thing close, maybe get it to 8 or 9 points at the half and regroup in the locker room at the break. But Seattle has taken a ton of outside shots in this game. 3 off the heel, offensive rebound, fouls, goes back up, draws the foul on Paris. Nicely done. In between 2 defenders, that's what a handful Sylvia Fowles can be under the boards. Just got good position there. And Courtney Paris commits the foul. So I mentioned she's like the last of the Sacramento Monarchs. And when Shavante Zellis was on the floor, she is currently the last of the Detroit Shock players to be in the WNBA. .127 to go here before halftime. Langhorne in, Howard out. One of 2 at the free throw line for fouls. Lynx 6 of 7 at the free throw line in the first half. Storm are 2 of 4. Lynx got to the free throw line 32 times in the game against Chicago. Canada with it. Left-handed dribble, 8 to shoot, dancing off the screen, leans in, floats up the shot. No, Lexi Brown did a nice job of defending without fouling, but the Lynx throw it away as they tried to outlet the ball to midcourt. Threw it in between Sims and Collier. Another timeout called by Gary Kloppenberg. 1:05 left to go here in the first half of play. It's 38-22. Lynx are now shooting an even 50%, while Seattle, you can see their huddle right there, 31% shooting, 0 of 6 from deep, and 9 turnovers here in the first half. For the Lynx, 2 of 8 from beyond the arc. They've had 8 turnovers themselves. I mentioned turnovers are normally up early on in the season. Both teams have kind of canceled each other out, although the Lynx have done more with the Storm turnovers than vice versa. Lynx have turned 9 Storm turnovers into 12 points. Storm only have 4 points off of 8 Lynx miscues. We mentioned the battle in the paint, plus 14 for Seattle, for Minnesota right now. Second chance points, 5-4 Minnesota. Fast break is even, 4 each. Bench points, 9-4 in favor of the Lynx, who are being led by Nafisa Collier. She's got 9 fouls, is up to 11 rebounds. Meanwhile, Jewel Lloyd, 8 for Seattle, 4 rebounds to go along with them. You can see Simone Augustus, or at least the back of Simone Augustus, very active with the team. But right now, she's just out indefinitely with right knee soreness. And she missed that game Saturday against the Sky. It's the first time in her career she's missed a season opener in her, well, what will be, if she plays this year, 14th WNBA season. Under a minute to go. And Mosqueda Lewis got it poked free. Lexi Brown comes away with it. Brown on the attack, keeps it herself, and draws the foul. Canada will pick it up. Lloyd to the free throw line. I think Talbot was the one who originally caused that turnover against Mosqueda Lewis and led to the Lexi Brown fast break. Free throws up and in. We have seen more of Lexi Brown than Danielle Robinson in this first half of play. At least down the stretch here. And we have a foul against the Minnesota on the free throw. That's going to result in free throws. So the Lynx will be at the free throw line here. And that last foul got charged to Collier. That's her third. So Langhorne will take the first free throw. Shepard will come in. Collier will sit. Making sure the rookie out of UConn does not pick up her fourth before we've reached halftime. Free throw good, 39-24, up by 15. Lynx' largest lead has been 17. Sims with it up top off the Shepard screen, slipped to the floor, still able to pass it off, and a timeout was called. And Sims a little bit slow in getting up. So a timeout on the floor with 39.6 seconds left. 39-24, up by 15, Seattle. Take a look at that spill by Sims. Well, that floor is unforgiving when you go down like that, right on the hip. When somewhere in there, Cheryl Reeve called a timeout. I think she sensed that Sims was going to get trapped there on the floor. So the Lynx, as I mentioned, have been so good at home. 7 of their first 10 of the season are on the home floor. And as they try to move on without Maya Moore, without Rebecca Brunson, Simone Augustus for the near future, Lindsay Whalen retiring, Lynx trying to get off to a 2-0 start before going to Dallas on Saturday. And then next Tuesday, they'll be in Seattle taking on the Storm. And that is only the second home game the Storm have in the opening couple of weeks of the season. They opened against Phoenix, and I mentioned 3 games in 4 nights. Friday, they'll be at Atlanta. Saturday, they'll be at Chicago. Then they head home, take on Minnesota on Tuesday, then right back on the road for a 4-game, 10-day road trip. They play Chicago again, Indiana, Washington, and Connecticut. Inbound, Talbot, top of the key. Talbot picked up the dribble. Now Lexi Brown with it. Back to Sims, shot clock down to 5 off the Shepard screen. Good crossover in the lane. Langhorne knocked it away. Brown got it back. Her shot off her out of bounds. Actually, it was Sims who had the shot attempt. Shot clock and game clock nearly identical. Lloyd brings it across midcourt and will work some clock here. Lynx do not have a foul to give. They run a trap at Lloyd to get the ball out of her hands, but she gets it back now with 8. They run a trap at her again, and lob it inside, a kick to the corner. Here's a 3, it's off the rim, no. And that was Mosqueda Lewis. Half-court shot by Talbot at the buzzer. Missed it to the right. Had the right kind of distance, but Offline. Solid opening half for the Lynx. 39-24. They hold Seattle to 30% shooting and 0 of 7 shooting. Up by 15 at the half here in Minneapolis. Second half about to get underway here on a Wednesday night. Seattle with some work to do. They trail by 15 here. They scored 9 in the opening quarter, 15 in the second. But the Lynx put up 22 in the first, 17 in the second. And it is a 39-24 advantage as we get underway here in the third quarter of play. Jordan Canada will bring it up. The Storm are in their yellow tops and bottoms. They've got the green trim. The Lynx in their blues tops and bottoms with the gray trim. Natasha Howard got tripped up driving the baseline. And will she be in the act of shooting? That is a question. The answer is no. Looked like she was just about to go into the shooting motion when she got tripped up. So Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis will trigger in. Comes up top to Crystal Langhorne, now in her 12th year out of the University of Maryland. Helped lead Maryland to an NCAA title back in 2006. 3 on the way for Howard, short, and Seattle 0 for 8 from beyond the arc here tonight. Dantish off to Sims, wing left. Lynx don't seem to be in any particular hurry here offensively. Dantas will try a left angle 3 and hit. Damiris Dantas from beyond the arc. It's her first 3 of the season. Did not attempt one the other night. Long 2 on the way for Lloyd, no good. And here's the discrepancy right now in the mid-range shooting. So that's outside the paint, inside the three-point line. Seattle is 4 of 13. The Lynx are 0 for 2. So not only is it poor shooting for the mid-range for Seattle, but it's the volume of shots that are coming from there. And part of that, I think Seattle's settling a little bit offensively, but also you got to give the Lynx defense credit for forcing them into those shots. Those are the shots they wanted their opponents to take. So a 20-point advantage for the Lynx, 44-24, as they have opened up a 5-0 advantage here to begin the third. Storm trying to regroup here. They're shooting 29%. They're 0 of 8 from beyond the arc. They've got 10 turnovers. They're -8 on the glass. They've gotten the free throw line less than their opponents here. Nothing has really gone their way. And they now find themselves in a 20-point hole, 44-24. Approaching 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter. And we would be right at 9 minutes had the clock started off the inbound. So they'll have to go back in inbounds again. Nope, they'll take 2 seconds off and make the Storm inbound near midcourt. Oh my goodness, more clock issues. They're going to take 2 more seconds off the clock here. So we are progressing very slowly. 2 seconds at a time. They have to get the shot clock matched up. And now we're set to go. Cheryl Reeve in her 10th season as head coach of the Lynx, 214 wins in her 10 seasons, all with Minnesota. And a Bronx cheer for the clock operators. Get things up and running. The 214 wins are the most for any coach in WNBA history with one team. Van Chancellor held that record for quite some time with 211 victories. Mike Tebow, second on that list, was, and now he is third. Cheryl Reeve, number 1. Now maybe the 2 seconds at a time off the clock threw off the Storm offensively because they get a shot clock violation here. 11 turnovers now on Seattle. Minnesota looking to go to 2-0 here. Odyssey Sims, wing right, dangerous pass up top. Picked by Canada. Canada on the attack, drives and draws a foul. Robinson commits her 3rd, and Canada will go to the free throw line for the 2nd time tonight. So Canada's got such great speed, and you saw her intuition there, just jumping that pass to Danielle Robinson. And Canada, the Los Angeles native. I mentioned her connection with Noelle Quinn, both former UCLA point guards. Jordan Canada was drafted 5th overall by Seattle in 2018. She was the first UCLA Bruin drafted since Noelle Quinn went fourth back in 2007. It's been quite the drought for UCLA women's basketball. 2 free throws by Canada. She knocks down the pair. 44-26, 18-point advantage, but Fowles pushes it back to 20. Just pivots nicely through the interior part of the Storm defense. Fowles has had a very quiet game offensively, only 5 points. But she does have the 11 rebounds. Howard baseline jumper drops in. Good soft touch for Natasha Howard. Here's Collier racing up the floor. Got the feet on the run but couldn't finish. Mosqueda Lewis with a rebound. Here's Canada surveying the scene. Crosses over. Gets around the Langhorn screen and backs it out. Mosqueda Lewis off the screen. Pops on a 17-footer and hits. The rare mid-range jumper for Seattle. So they've gotten points on their last 3 possessions. Now they need some stops at the other end of the floor. Lynx by 16. Sims to the right side. Here's Robinson looking to attack Langhorn off the Collier screen, and that's going to be illegal. Collier just picked up her 4th personal foul. That'll go down as a turnover, the 10th on the Lynx. And now Seattle has a chance to cut into the advantage a little bit more. Stephanie Talbot will check in. And Nafisa Collier will take a seat. You know, she had such a quiet, Collier did a quiet preseason, only averaged 5 points, shot 3 of 8 over the 2 games. And after her 27-point debut against the Sky the other night, Cheryl Reeves said, quote, she didn't have 27 points in 3 weeks of training camp. And a little bit tongue-in-cheek there, but it gives an idea that Collier was not a big scorer during training camp and getting ready for the season. Good initial defense by the Lynx, forcing a missed shot by Howard, but keeping the ball alive and ending up at the free throw line is Jewel Lloyd. So Lloyd from Lincolnwood, Illinois, 3 years at Notre Dame, where they appeared in 3 straight Final Fours, twice lost to Connecticut in the title game. Former Rookie of the Year, Jewel Lloyd knocks down a pair. And it is a 14-point game. So from 20 down to 14, 46-32. And a whistle and a foul away from the play. John Butler makes the call. And they'll get Jewel Lloyd on her 2nd personal foul. That is the first team foul against Seattle here in the quarter. The Lynx have already committed 3 team fouls. You get to 5 free throws for the opponents. Sims with it up top. High screen by Fowles. Sims splits 2 defenders. Left of the lane. Hesitates. Back up top. Dantas. Can she hit another 3? Bingo. Damiris Dantas. 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. Just 28% in her career entering tonight. She has 2 of the 4 threes hitting this game tonight. That's for both sides combined. Seattle 0 for 8. Lynx 4 of 11. Here's Lloyd getting 3. Pull-up free throw line jumper is short. Fouls with a big rebound, and as she falls to the floor, she was able to get the outlet off to Dantas, but they're going to get Howard on the foul. And that's going to be number 3 on Natasha Howard. That is another mid-range shot for Seattle. Dantas surveys the scene. Sims with it into the paint, runs into Mosqueda Lewis, and a foul will be charged. It will go against Kalina Mosqueda Lewis. Oh, they got Lloyd on it. And so free throws coming here as Sims was in the act of shooting. Sims 1 for 1 at the free throw line. 3 for 3 on the season. And a miss. Sims is now in her 6th year. She played 3 years with Tulsa/Dallas. A couple of years in LA, traded to Minnesota this offseason for Alexis Jones, the number 12 pick back in the 2017 draft. 1 out of 2 for Sims at the free throw line. 50-32, the lead is back up to 18. Natasha Howard looking to take Dantas off the dribble. To the baseline, circles back towards the middle. Goes up with a jump hook and hits. Natasha Howard, who had the big game one against the Mercury. 21 points, 16 rebounds, 5 steals, 3 blocks. Tonight she's been held in check, 8 points, 5 rebounds. 4 of 10 shooting. Sims again snakes her way across the lane. Out to Robinson. 3 ball comes up short, and the offensive rebound to Sims. Sims left alone. She'll eye the 3 and buy the 3. Odyssey Sims from long range. 53-34. Lloyd around the screen. Bounces it off to Langhorne. Gets it right back. Talbot, a good defender, forces into the fall-away baseline. It's no good. Lloyd is now 4 of 15 shooting. Robinson back the other way around the back. Top of the key, circles back out. Dangerous pass inside, knocked away. Here comes Lloyd on the attack. It's a 3-on-2. Driving layup, no good for Jordan Canada. Now the Lynx come back the other way with 5 minutes to go in the third. Sims to Fowles in the high post, knocked away by the quick hands of Canada, but Fowles gets it back. .450 left to go in the third. Robinson looking to attack Canada in the lane, and Canada got her hand in there and tied her up. Jump ball, good call by the official, Fatu Sissoko Stevens. Yep, Canada got the hand right in there, forced the jump ball, nice play. Robinson and Canada, a couple of point guards matching up there. 5'9", Danielle Robinson, 5'6", Jordan Canada. Mercedes Russell checks in. Canada back taps it, but with 2 on the shot clock, Sims couldn't get the shot off in time. Yep. Well, she tried to rush it, and when she did, she lost the handle, and then by the time she got it back, didn't have enough time to put up the shot. It's 12 turnovers now in Minnesota. So here comes Seattle, still trailing by 19. Shooting 31%, 0 of 8 from deep. Lloyd up top, off the Howard screen. And now lost it right of the lane, and that's ball's going to end up out of bounds. And it's going to be awarded to Minnesota. Now she's claiming, Lloyd, that that ball got tipped. I have a feeling she might be right. But the Lynx will take over, up by 19. Boy, 0 for 8 3-point shooting for the Storm here tonight. They held Chicago to 3 of 13. So between the 2 games right now, 3 for 21, they're holding their opponents to from the 3-point line. Lynx have done an excellent job guarding the 3-point stripe. Fowles with 4 to shoot. Does she realize it? Spin to the baseline. Up. Does she beat the buzzer? Another shot clock violation. Good move by Fowles, but did not get it out of her fingertips before the horn sounded. That's at least the 3rd shot clock violation against the Lynx here tonight. Howard rumbles her way down the lane, got the shot to drop, but she'll head to the free throw line for an and 1. Natasha Howard trying to make something happen. 53-36. Let's see who they got the foul on. It'll go against Dantas. That'll be her 4th personal foul. She and Collier each have 4. Free throw good for Natasha Howard. Well, if you can't get a 3 from beyond the arc, you get it the old-fashioned way. Natasha Howard does exactly that. She's got 11. Lloyd has 10. 16-point Lynx lead. Around the perimeter, it's Talbot with it up top. A lob inside. Fowles. Draws a foul. It'll go against Russell. That should be her 3rd. You know, when you've got Sylvia Fowles inside, it opens up so many possibilities offensively. With her size and her strength, if she's able to seal off a defender, you just lob it in there. Either she's going to come down with it, she's got good hands, she can obviously score well inside. Voted by the GMs in the league, the best, number 2 in finishing ability. And Odyssey Sims gets this one to drop. Or Fowles can draw the foul like she just did. 55-37, up by 18. Sammy Whitcomb off the screen to the free throw line. Back out to Canada. Now Howard again against Shepard. Frees herself at the 18-footer. She's starting to get it going. Up to 13 points. Lexi Brown. Two-man game with Sylvia Fowles. She'll take the free throw line jumper and hit it. Well, Fowles doesn't shoot frequently from outside the paint. She was 1 of 2 from the mid-range against Chicago. Canada misses the driving layup. Russell's tip follow no good. Storm had 2 cracks at that. Lob up ahead. Lexi Brown makes the catch. Layup good. Storm did not get back in defensive transition. 2 minutes to go here in the third. 20-point Lynx advantage. Lloyd again from the mid-range. Knocks this one down. Lexi Brown turns the corner off a Shepard screen. Back to Shepard, wide open for a straightaway 3. She knew she missed it as she tried to track down the offensive rebound. She could not do so. Out of bounds, it'll be Seattle basketball. You know, I mentioned we mentioned this off the top, but I do want to send all the best to Dan Hughes as he recovers from surgery, removing a tumor in his digestive tract. And talking to Gary Kloppenberg before the game, as Dan Hughes has been back with the team at practice a little bit and hopes to be back in June. So all the best to Dan Hughes. Coming off the title last year. Top of the key jumper is banked in by Jordan Canada. Storm will take it any way they can get it. 59-43. 90 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Brown on the attack, runs into Zealous, off balance shot as an air ball. Fowles couldn't squeeze it. Talbot knocks it out to Robinson. Shot clock is at 5 here. Fowles triple teamed. Now double team, splits that, up with the right hand. Couldn't get it to go. Mercedes Russell with a rebound. See if the Storm can capitalize. Robinson picks the pocket of Canada. Danielle trapped in the backcourt here, and she got stripped, lost it. Whitcomb now with it. Canada off to Howard. Howard attacks inside, and Fowles blocks the shot, but a whistle and a foul. That's the first foul on Sylvia Fowles here tonight. Well, Cheryl Reeve cannot believe that a foul wasn't called on that turnover by Danielle Robinson. But you kind of knew as soon as Danielle picked the pocket of Jordan Canada that she was in trouble. She was surrounded by 3 Storm defenders. And kind of dribbled herself into trouble by the midcourt line and by the sideline. Got trapped there. Canada is out. Anrielle Howard is in. Free throws by Howard. 1 out of 2. He's got 14 points. Still a 15-point Lynx lead, which is where they started the quarter at. Shepard mid-range jumper is good. 51% shooting for Minnesota. 19 assists on 24 made field goals. Only 8 for the Storm on 17 made field goals. Zealous, high screen off the Russell pick. One way, then back the other. Zealous mid-range jumper, Rebound out of bounds, Lynx basketball. So Lynx can hold for the final shot here. A 3 would give them a 20-point lead going to the 4th. Danielle Robinson. Storm do not have a foul to give. 7 seconds left in the quarter. Now with 5. Robinson against Zealous. Crossover. 17-footer off to the left. Rebound out of bounds, and that'll do it. Through 3 quarters here at Target Center, the Lynx on their way to a 2-0 start to the season. They lead by 17 over the Storm, 61-44. They have been dominant here through 3 quarters. Over the Storm to begin the 4th quarter. You know, this game, or at least on the rosters, features 4 of the top 12 longest tenured players in the WNBA. Sue Bird out indefinitely, but when she does play, it'll be her 17th WNBA season. And Crystal Langhorne, 12 years in the WNBA. Sylvia Fowles is on that list. So is Simone Augustus. When she plays this year, it'll be her 14th WNBA season. Lynx have it to begin the 4th here, and again up by 17. They led Chicago by, we'll say, 27. So they've had some big leads in these first 2 games. Fowles gets the shot off, but it is an air ball, and that'll go down as another shot clock violation by Minnesota. There's their 4th, as Fowles may have gotten that shot blocked a little bit. Well, if Russell will get credit for a block. But Seattle gets possession of the basketball. Shavante Zealous. Sammy Whitcomb up top. Whitcomb wide open. Good rotation on that 3, and there it is. The first 3 of the night for the Seattle Storm. They finally knocked down a 3. 1 of 9 from beyond the arc. The Storm had been shooting 25% outside the paint until that 3 right there. Here's Shepard into the paint, trying to go across to Fowles, but that was jumped nicely by Howard. Tremendous play by Anriel Howard. Now Zealous with it. 1 minute gone here in the 4th. Around the Russell screen to the baseline. Back up top, picked off Lexi Brown. Brown on the attack with Whitcomb to beat, throws it up, missed the shot, rebound out of bounds. It'll stay Lynx basketball. Odyssey Sims will get back in the game. Lexi Brown will take a seat. Great anticipation there by Lexi Brown. More so a poor pass there by Seattle than Lexi's instincts, but couldn't cash in for 2 at the other end. Lynx still have it. Sims trapped on the sideline, and finally she is fouled. Howard will pick this one up. Sims got trapped over there right in front of Gary Kloppenberg. Yeah, he's defending as well, hands up. Got to be strong with the basketball. Robinson with it up top against Sammy Whitcomb, 8 to shoot. Robinson now with 5, circles off the foul screen, lost control of the ball. Turnover on Minnesota is their 16th of the game. Russell gives it off to Howard, and she got jumped by Danielle Robinson, and they're going to call a foul on Howard. See, Eric Bruton cannot see the number of Anriel Howard. The hair comes down over the number, over the name. It's been a tremendous struggle for the officials. Nobody thinks of the officials. Here's Nafisa Collier. Now Robinson, 10 to shoot, high arcing 3 on the way. Bingo. Danielle Robinson knocks down the 3. That's her first of the season. She had missed her first 6 attempts of the year. Whitcomb tries to answer. That one rolls off, and Sylvia Fowles with her 13th rebound of the game. 12 of those on the defensive end. Robinson off the foul screen. Splits 2 defenders, got tripped up, and a whistle. That'll not be in the act of shooting as Crystal Langhorne checks back in. Natasha Howard will sit down. Yeah, they think they got Whitcomb on that one. As Danielle got sandwiched. Second team foul on Seattle. Lynx have yet to commit a team foul here in the quarter. So Sims and Robinson on the floor in the backcourt together as Robinson drives, throws up a wild shot, and then Shepard crashes into Crystal Langhorne and commits the loose ball foul. There is the first team foul on the Lynx in the 4th quarter. Now Shepard got called for a very ticky-tack foul, just kind of like that. This time she earned it, no doubt about that. Seattle with the ball, Langhorne inside. Pivots nicely, frees herself and gets it to drop. (64-49). It's a 15-point game right now. Fouls, they run a double at her. She puts it on the floor and travels. So the Lynx with 17 turnovers now. 3 of those have come in the opening 3 minutes of this fourth quarter. They have left the door open slightly for the Seattle Storm here. They've got possession down by 15. When you've dug yourself the type of hole that Seattle has dug, it really puts a premium on almost every possession the rest of the way. I'm not saying they have to score every time, but they've got to be efficient. And we have a defensive 3-second call against Minnesota. That'll even things up, as the Storm will call for one of those in the first half. Chance for a free point here for Jewell Loyd. They try to run the pick and roll there. It may not have been pretty, but they got Mercedes Russell down in the block. Dantas in, fouls will take a seat. Free throw was good, 14-point game. Shavante Zealous, now in her 11th year at a Pitt. Jewell Loyd tries a left wing 3, no. Collier with a strong rebound. And Collier will just play a little point forward and bring it up herself right to the top of the key. Bumped by Zealous, and that was enough to draw the whistle from John Butler. Zealous commits her 3rd personal foul. 21 fouls called against the Storm, 18 against the Lynx. But it's the Storm who have had 14 free throw attempts. The Lynx have had 11. Collier one-on-one against Zealous to the baseline. Pass up top, a dangerous one, and picked off. Loyd with it. On the attack, drops it back. Whitcomb 3 on the way. In and out, no good. That's the kind of shot that Seattle should be taking. Lynx come away with a basketball, up by 14. Whitcomb is 1 of 3 from beyond the arc. She's got good rotation on her 3, and even her misses, both misses she's had have come off the rim softly, almost giving it a second chance to go in. Seattle called for another foul here. And that's the 4th team foul already on Seattle. Howard back in. Russell will sit. Collier to trigger in. Six minutes left to go in this game. Trying to split a double is Sims. Odyssey is bottled up, lost the ball, got a hand to it, and we're going to have a jump ball here as Jewell Loyd and Odyssey Sims will jump it up at the free throw line when we come back. 5:56 left to go in the 4th. Still a chance here for Seattle. 64-50, Minnesota on top. By 14 here with just under 6 minutes to go in the game. We mentioned earlier that Seattle with the longest tenure player in Sue Bird. Well, how about the Minnesota Lynx, Simone Augustus? When she does play this year, it'll be her 14th season. Also on that list, Sylvia Fowles, now in her 12th season. The jump ball is won by Minnesota. Shot clock is down to 2. Shepard realizes it, and the pull-up free throw line jumper is a big one for Minnesota. It pushes the lead back to 16. Here's Whitcomb run off the three-point line. She'll drive into the paint. Gives it off to Natasha Howard, working for some space, finally finds some and banks it in for 2. 16 for Natasha Howard. 36% shooting and 1 of 11 from deep for Seattle. They trail by 14 here. Shepard, wing right. Langhorne with her arms up. Cross court it comes to Lexi Brown. Brown crosses over on Whitcomb, drives in. We've got a whistle that stops play, and this should result in free throws for Minnesota. Lexi Brown will go to the free throw line. Brown's already played 20 minutes off the bench, 8 points, 4 assists.
That's her 3rd personal 15 foul.
As Cheryl Reeve has only gone 3 deep on the bench with Lexi Brown, Jessica Shepard, and Stephanie Talbot. It's really been a substitution pattern with 3 guards, Danielle Robinson, Odyssey Sims, and Lexi Brown. And then Jessica Shepard rotating with Dantas and Fowles. And you've got Stephanie Talbot playing 12 minutes, and she's subbed in for basically Nafisa Collier. It's essentially how the rotations have gone. 68-52 after the free throws. Lynx are now 10 of 13 at the free throw line. Whitcomb tried to work off the Howard screen, swings it right side. Somehow Lexi Brown did not get her hand to that ball. Langhorn across the lane with the left hand, could not finish. And the rebound to Jessica Shepard. Shepard with 8 points, 3 rebounds, couple of assists. Lynx ball movement offensively has been excellent tonight. 21 assists on 26 made field goals. 10 to shoot, 4:30 left to go in the game. Let's see, Odyssey Sims trying to split a double. And another jump ball is called. Once in a while, splitting a double like that can work, but more times than not, it's going to lead to trouble. And it leads to trouble again here for Odyssey Sims. She'll jump it up with Jordan Canada. Nope, it'll be Jewel Lloyd jumping it up at 5'10". And Seattle able to win the tip, trailing by 16. Inside, they try to force feed it to Howard. Well, I think Lexi Brown took a hand right to the face in her right eye. The shot offline, rebound out of bounds, and it's Minnesota basketball. Lexi Brown just took, I think, hand maybe from Natasha Howard right in the face. Boy, it happened so fast there. Lexi Brown's going to come out. Odyssey Sims back in. (68-52). Time winding down for the Storm here. Trap Sims out by midcourt. Odyssey escapes that. Bounced it off to Collier, lost the handle, out of bounds. Turnover on Minnesota is their 20th of the game. Actually, that had yet to be updated. It's now 21 turnovers. Now remember the great discrepancy in points off of turnovers in the first half? 13-4 in favor of Minnesota. Well, in the second half, it's been 11-3 in favor of Seattle. They've finally started to convert off of some of those Minnesota miscues. Fouls call on Jessica Shepard. That's her 4th. Sideline out of bounds for Seattle. Cross court it comes. Jewel Lloyd off the pick by Natasha Howard. Beautiful pick and roll, but Howard couldn't finish the layup. And then inside, Langhorn got it knocked away. It's out of bounds. And it'll stay Seattle basketball. 3:46 left. I realize Seattle hasn't shot the 3 well, just 1 of 13. But at some point, they've got to start hunting some threes. Inbound, deflected out of play by Shepard. And their defense just hasn't been on point tonight, as Minnesota shot 49%. So to think all of a sudden they're going to get 9 straight stops is probably unrealistic. The 3 there by Lloyd is no good. And a whistle and a foul. Nope, knocked away by Canada out of bounds. It'll be Lynx basketball. But hunting the 3 is really the only path to somehow creating a comeback with so little time left, especially when you're not getting stops at the other end of the floor. Odyssey Sims has 13 points. She leads the Lynx in scoring. Here's Collier. Collier will work on Lloyd. Back out to Sims. The lefty will fire on a 3. In and out, no. And the offensive rebound, Danielle Robinson. Now to Sims, down the lane, up off the glass. Count it for 2. The offensive rebound by the point guard, Danielle Robinson. And Sims cashes in. Whitcomb into the paint. Bottled up, but still able to kick it out. Here's Howard. Floater down the lane is good. 70-54. The Lynx are more than happy to trade baskets at this point. There's Robinson, picked up the dribble, got it knocked away by Canada, but Shepard is right there. Shepard's got good size at 6'3". To find some space. Good spin move. Shot up, no, but a whistle and a foul. It'll go against Howard, and that'll be her fourth. So the under 3-minute break will come with 2:37 left to go in the fourth. Lynx still lead it by 16, and free throws are coming for Minnesota when we come back. Odyssey Sims leading the way for Minnesota. She's got 15 on 6 of 11 shooting. The lower bowl here at Target Center on a Wednesday night. And 2 minutes and 37 seconds away from their Minnesota Lynx going to 2-0 on the season. Jessica Shepard is at the free throw line.
Number 10, Jessica Shepard at the line, shooting 2.
Shepard off the bench with 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. First one is up and in. So not only are the Lynx trying to go to 2-0 on the season, but 2-0 at home. And since the start of the 2011 season, if the Lynx can hang on to this lead here up by 17, they're going to go to 114-24 on their home floor. I guess that's why in the GM survey, it was unanimous. I don't know if it was unanimous. The Lynx were voted best home court in the WNBA. Nice up and under move by Canada. 72-56. 16-point lead for Minnesota. Friday, they'll be on a plane to Dallas. Then on to Seattle for a rematch with the Storm. That game will be in Everett, Washington on Tuesday. Sims zips it left corner. Dantas for her third 3 of the night. No, it comes up short. 2 minutes left to play here. Canada cross court. Lloyd's got it right in front of the Lynx bench. Mercedes Russell holding on the post up against Shepard. Now works against her. Back out. Lloyd will try the 3. It's off the front rim. No. But again, that's the right shot attempt in this situation. 1:40 left. 72-56. Good crossover by Robinson, the drive. A wild shot over Russell, no. Robinson gets her own offensive rebound, then get it knocked away. Lloyd comes with it. Canada front court. Canada fakes the pass, drives in. Russell open inside, layup good. Cheryl Reeve wants a timeout. Looks like she will get some substitutions in as well. With 1:26 left to play in this one, 72-58. This is the only game on the WNBA schedule tonight. In fact, there's no action tomorrow. There are 3 games coming up on Friday. The aforementioned Storm on the road at Atlanta. Las Vegas will be at Phoenix, Connecticut against Los Angeles. So entering tonight, the Lynx and Storm, obviously early, very early on in the season, but 2 of the 5 teams undefeated in the league. It'll be down to 4 after tonight. I mentioned this earlier, but 21 assists on 27 made field goals. That's 78% assist rate. And you compare that with what Seattle's been held to tonight. Just 12 assists on 23 made field goals, 52%. That's normally a pretty good sign for you offensively if you have a high rate of assists. The ball is moving, you're finding the open shot. Players are knocking them down. The other thing we talked about early was rebounding, and the Lynx have more than held their own on the glass tonight. A plus 15 on the glass, 36-21. And at the last time out, the offensive rebounding was even, 8 apiece. And the points, second chance points, Lynx with a slight 10-6 edge. There's Sims on the drive, shouting, baseline jumper, no good. Offensive rebound is put back up by Coates, it's no good. Shouting with an offensive rebound. She drives in, floats up the shot short, and Courtney Paris has the rebound. Shavante Zealous. Zealous looking to attack in the paint, stops and kicks it back out. Howard will try a 3, bingo! And Riel Howard, 5'11" rookie out of Mississippi State. 72-61, it's an 11-point game with 48 seconds left to play. And Odyssey Sims will burn a little clock here. Now off the screen by Coates, the pull-up jumper is going to be offline. And the rebound to Mercedes Russell. The reverse layup wouldn't drop for Howard. Xiao with the rebound. And the shot clock is off. Lynx don't have to shoot the basketball. Well, a very impressive performance by the Minnesota Lynx. They have held Seattle to 36% shooting, 2 of 15 from deep, and turned them over 14 times. So the final score here from Minneapolis, 72-61. The Lynx go to 2-0. The Storm drop to 1-1. Lynx finished up with 4 players in double figures, led by Odyssey Sims with 15, Damiris Dantas with 12, 10 each for Lexi Brown and Jessica Shepard. 18 for Natasha Howard, but not enough. Jewel Lloyd had 13, but 5 of 21 shooting. Lynx defense too tough here tonight. They're 2-0, and the Storm 1-1. Again, these two teams will match up in Seattle next week. Thanks so much for watching. For all of our crew here at Target Center tonight, I'm Alan Horton. Thanks for watching this presentation of the WNBA.